You know, before I shaved all this off, someone said I look like EDP who didn't have his canon event. First off, fuck you. Because that is both the most devastating thing I have ever heard, and also, one of the funniest things I've ever fucking heard. But I took a break, went on a little bit of a social media vacay. We were basically just uploading YouTube shorts for a while, but we're back. And we're going to be tackling the big news first. The big news being that James Gunn's DCU is expanding. And it's expanding in super interesting ways that really makes me wonder whether or not we are moving towards a live screen version of the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cartoons, at least with the castings that we've been seeing recently. But we got three new superheroes that have been cast in the DCU for Superman Legacy. We have Nathan Fillion, who is a fantastic choice for Guy Gardner. If there is anyone who's going to be able to land Guy Gardner's just straight up annoying comedic timing, it's definitely going to be Nathan Fillion. I know a lot of people are complaining online about the fact that Nathan is like super young, but at the exact same time, he's one of few who I can honestly say would literally land playing Guy Gardner. The only other person who I think in my mind could play Guy Gardner is that guy from American Gods. What was his name? He plays the Leprechaun. He plays the Leprechaun King. His name is, apparently they don't even have him in like the first 10. Pablo Schreiber, but Schreiber's currently busy off doing he's off he's off he's off somehow surviving and getting a season 2 for the Halo franchise. The next person is Ed Gathegi. I don't know if you know who he is, but people who have been around the Marvel block a long time knows who he is. He's the ill-fated mutant who couldn't die, who ends up dying in X-Men First Class. He's the one who played I almost wanted to call my boy Legion. He played Darwin. So I'm really hoping that him playing Mr. Terrific, like that's another fantastic choice because he's a really great actor. But I'm really hoping that him playing Mr. Terrific is finally his chance to land and stick in a big, just superhero tentpole. I think one of the most wasted things that X-Men First Class did was basically killing off his character. It would have been interesting to see his character go through the evolutionary developments that Darwin would have went through. Instead, they essentially just killed him off and they never reference him ever again. So I'm happy to see him back, even if it's under a completely different banner. And the last person that absolutely surprised me was Isabela Merced. Uh, I know her from Sicario 2, Dora the Explorer, and there's another movie I feel as though I know her from, but it's not coming to me right now. But those are like the two big movies that I remember her from. It's gonna be really interesting to see how well she does because she's not a new face in the acting world, but she's going to be new for a majority of people going into this production, basically, where she's usually had roles where she's a secondary character. I would say Sicario and Dora were like the two ones where she was basically the main character. Um, but it's going to be one of the first times that she's going to be a part of a big multi-million dollar, probably a $200 million movie slash production. So it's really going to be interesting to see exactly what she does. But at the exact same time, perfect casting again. I really feel as though a lot of people have been sleeping on James Gunn's ability to go out there, find a group of people that perfectly embody the characters that he wants to bring onto the screen, and then essentially bring them onto the big screen. But now that circles back to something that I had said earlier about what exactly is it that James Gunn is building? Because we know that his Superman Legacy, when Superman comes around, there are already heroes that are operating in the world proper. And it seems as though it's going to be heavily influenced on Superman versus the Authority, where the Authority are the big heroes essentially of this world. Then Superman comes along and he inspires a new generation of heroes, and those new generation of heroes are the ones who essentially end up becoming the Justice League. It's going to be interesting to see how exactly he threads that needle between the boys and Superman, because the Authority are very much more on the side of the boys thematically, where they're superheroes that do nefarious shit to basically achieve their goals and their means. Whereas Superman is Big Blue. He's bright. He's the Boy Scout. He's going to be the inspirational guy that makes a bunch of these other heroes look around and go, you know what? Maybe these other guys aren't exactly the best people to have leading our world. So it's going to be interesting to see how exactly he threads that narrative needle and nails each of these characters, basically their personalities and their goals, but then also the way in which the audiences are supposed to be feeling about them. Where you're supposed to be feeling a sense of dislike, discomfort towards the Authority because they're very authoritarian, where it's like, it's what I say goes, and if you're not on my timetable, or if you're not in my plans, then you're just something that needs to be eliminated. Whereas Superman is very much, ooh, a cat's in a tree, let me go save that cat, and Doomsday's over there, let me go over there and fight Doomsday. But I have faith. If anything, if you sit down and you watch all of James Gunn's superhero movies, you cannot complain about him ever dropping you like an egg. They've all slapped. All the Guardians, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, all of them have been really, 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 really good. And a lot of the discourse that you see online are essentially coming from people that, for whatever reason, wants WB to make these just crazy moves in regards to like preserving the Snyderverse or Snyder diehards or blah blah blah. It's essentially coming from people who have basically taken their entire personality and placed it behind this one thing because it keeps them relevant. But hey, I'm super excited for the news. I can't wait to see exactly where this all goes. Comment down below, let me know if you feel the exact same way, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace. Because we back, baby. We back on production.